So my name's Jess and I'm an artist. My creative process is participatory, collaborative and inclusive with a focus on disability and neurodiversity history. And it's also multidisciplinary I use the materials and approach are informed by the theme of my projects. I'm also the founder of Dyspraxic Me, which is a charity for dyspraxic young adults. And I also work in museums as I feel museums and objects are great at being able to explain how the past impacts the present. So that's a bit of an introduction. So the 23rd of July 2020 marked the 50th anniversary of the Education of Handicapped Children Act of 1970, and the Act marked the first time that children of compulsory school age had a right to an education. And the Act said it was to make provision as respects to England and Wales for discontinuing the classification of handicapped children as unsuitable for education at school and for the purpose connected therewith. So I received a micro commission of funding from Unlimited, who are an arts commissioning programme that enables new work by disabled artists to reach UK and international audiences. So for the work, I gathered audio recordings about people's experiences of the education system to produce an audio piece telling these stories. Participants answered these two questions. How inclusive or accessible do you feel the education system is today or was when you were at school? And what would your ideal school look like? And the sound plays out of an isolation booth, which is what the image is on the screen. And school isolation booths are sometimes used as a form of punishment for disruptive behaviour. And before the pandemic, discussions about their usage in schools had started in wider media. And I thought hearing the recordings in the booth helped explore the feelings of isolation. And as well for me, when I was at infant school in the 1990s, I remember my desk was taken away from me and I had to share it with my teacher until they felt my handwriting had improved. And I remember my teacher holding my hand whilst I wrote. And so for me, a desk also signifies trust, freedom and privilege to learn. I'm now going to play some of the recordings on YouTube. And the total recording is an hour long because we had so many submissions. So we're only going to play a part of it.
We're only going to let people that can read and write properly and people that don't have any trouble reading and writing at all, then you are limiting yourself. Your class could be given a lot of value from people that have problems reading and writing. It's just laziness. And teachers have a habit of saying, why can't you be bothered to learn? Well, you can't seem to be bothered to teach us if we have a little bit of trouble, so it works both ways. But of course, in reality, the teachers are a higher authority, and us students, we don't have the power to stand up for ourselves. But that has got to change, and the idea of a good school would be where everyone is included.
Well, when I was at school, I definitely had a hard time being dyslexic and dyspraxic. I feel like it was kind of known what it was, but not really. And there were only like one or two specialists. The vast majority of the teachers knew the term, but not the definition. I think it's kind of difficult to say how inclusive it was as a system, because the system failed, but there was individuals which made the difference. I got through school, I was able to learn to read and write and do the basics, but not due to the machine, but due to one or two individuals who tailored the way they taught me so I would learn in a way which suited my brain type.
My ideal school is a school that is accessible, diverse, a school that reflects the society we want to achieve, that doesn't tell children they cannot succeed here, but asks itself what it needs to do and change to help that student succeed. My ideal school is a school where every student and teacher can walk or roll to class together, a school that prioritises well-being and creativity. My ideal school is well-funded and values all of its staff and pupils' well-being. My ideal school would have an accessible, decolonised, diverse, creative curriculum that teaches critical thinking and politics to all ages to empower students. My ideal school would teach students their rights and how to advocate for themselves and about the many injustices in the world. And it would teach them that they all have value and deserve love, care, and respect. My ideal school would teach social responsibility and consent and respect. My ideal school would provide mental health support to all children and teachers rather than waiting for them to suffer. My ideal school would see the value of disabled students. It would teach disability history and culture and allow students to feel pride in that identity through engaging with disabled teachers and mentors. My ideal school is a reflection of my ideal society.
Well, back in my day, it was totally inaccessible because I had this whole series of learning disabilities, which were totally undiagnosed. And I recently had this experience of finding my primary school books in my mum's loft, and I was absolutely shocked at what I found, mainly empty pages. I would start a sentence, I'd get a couple of sentences into whatever it was we were supposed to be doing, and then I would just stop, and clearly I was looking out the window, or goodness knows what I was doing, and there was no help of any kind whatsoever. And I can remember maths being a real struggle, and I've got dyscalculia, which has been diagnosed now, but I didn't quite remember how much I was struggling with just writing. And that became really clear. And all the comments from my teachers are things like, "Good start, Sonia, where's the rest?" And it was clearly no attempt to support me with that. It was just like, what is the problem with you? Why are you looking out the window? There was no understanding of a child who could clearly do some things and was able in some ways, but I just wasn't reaching anywhere near my potential. And this carried on into secondary school. Again, absolutely no support. I remember just sitting through subjects like science and maths, and because I was...
So we'll stop it there and go back to your presentation, but you can, if you're interested, you can watch more at another time. So I wanted to do something more for the 40th anniversary of the Education Act of 1981, but with my day job and returning to on-site working, I've been finding it a bit overwhelming, and so I didn't have the time to do anything huge. So instead, I've projected words onto a hoodie in the style of school leavers hoodies, and the first one says Class of 1980, Handicapped, the second Class of 1981, Special Educational Needs, and the first says Class of 2021, Education. And ALLFIE Juwande has written a blog post about the work, which is on ALLFIE's website as well.